Scooby-Doo, classic cartoon. We've all heard of it. Everybody loves it, universally. Came out in 1969. So, while it didn't come out in the 70s, it's like, that's when it picked up and became classic. It's a very long running cartoon. Like, new Scooby-Doo comes out every year. There's been like 1 million different series, 60 million movies. I think 2 new shows are now coming out. One of which, maybe 2 of which, doesn't even have Scooby-Doo himself in it. Scooby-Dooby-Doo himself isn't in it. But who am I to judge? I'm the only one who can judge, and that's what I'm gonna do for this video. Because there's been so many different iterations of Scooby-Doo and so many, like, it's been going on so long, naturally there's a lot of different voice actors. So, who did the best job voice acting Scooby-Doo? That's what we're talking about right now. What makes me qualified to judge Scooby-Doo? That's a stupid question, it's obvious. Look at me. But I'll elaborate anyway. We used to have a VHS TV in my room. One of those like boxy ones you saw in Poltergeist. And we had a lot of Scooby-Doo tapes. So really, like, I've been with Scooby-Doo since the beginning. I know about, like, even the obscure Scooby-Doo stuff, like when Shaggy wears a red shirt. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's an obscure Scooby-Doo thing. Scooby-Dum. I bet most of you have never even heard of Scooby-Dum, but I've heard of Scooby-Dum. Scooby-Doo's cousin. He's also a Great Dane. Duh. So, that's why. Now, the criteria for the Scooby-Doo voices, really, I'm going off of vibe, but, a big factor is how, like, annoying is it? It needs to be, like, a goofy little dog voice, but I have to be able to listen to it for prolonged periods of time. Because, like, Scooby-Doo movies are, like, an hour long. Something interesting to notice while you're listening to the Scooby-Doo voices is how, like, how different voice actors decide how much dog to put into it, you know? Like, are they trying to sound like a dog? I just said that, idiot. So, with, for example, Scott Innes, who's in most of the movies, like, when you imagine the Scooby-Doo voice, you're probably imagining his voice. I'd say more Scooby, less Doo. But for Hadley K, that's almost entirely Doo and no Scooby. Now keep that in mind as I'm ranking these. Coming in at number 8 is Hadley K. The only thing I could find of him in it was Bravo Scooby-Doo. Now, do you want to guess what the concept of that Scooby-Doo episode is about? You have 10 seconds. Did you guess it? It was with Johnny Bravo and Scooby-Doo. There was a crossover. And I don't like it. You know why? You know why I don't like Hadley K's Scooby-Doo voice? 1, too high-pitched. Scooby-Doo shouldn't be high-pitched. It's like grating already. Scooby-Doo's voice can sometimes like push it a little bit on how annoying it is. In the moment you started doing more high-pitched things with it, you lose me. And also it's too difficult to understand. And like I feel like any man over the age of 30 could do a better Scooby-Doo voice than Hadley K. Also, he's Canadian. Need I say more? Now, for number 2,
What I meant to say was number
I'm a firm
7.
believer that just because you started something, or you're the first one to do something, doesn't mean you're the best at it. Example, Ted Neely was the best Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. He wasn't the first though. Which is why I'm putting Don Messick, the first Scooby-Doo voice, as second to last, number 7 out of 8. Because, listen, I get it, alright? He was the first one to do it. He had to figure out, like, the kinks of it. So it's understandable why he's one of the worst. And it's not even bad. Most of these aren't bad. They're just not good. Which is why Scott Enos, it's too much dog, too much stew, not enough Scoob. Do you understand? Keith Scott. What does that name evoke in your mind? Does it evoke Hanna-Barbera, Celebrity Gala, Scooby-Doo voice? No, it doesn't. It's like Don Messick, but just more deeper voice and like slightly better because it's a little bit less annoying. Not that Don Messick was annoying, but it wasn't not annoying if you understand my drift. So that's all I could find him in too, was the Hanna-Barbera Celebrity Gala. And he didn't make any impact. They never asked for him to do it again, which is why he's number 6 out of 7. No, 6 out of 8. Scooby-Doo, Arabian Nights. Again, one of the more obscure Scooby-Doo things. Even me, Mrs. Scooby-Doo, number 1 fan, never heard of Scooby-Doo, Arabian Nights. It only had Scooby-Doo and Shaggy in it. Need I say more? Greg Burson, not a good voice. Done. Well, he's a mediocre voice, which is why he's 5 out of 8. Done. Mike Silk, charming name. Does it match the man? I don't know. I never met him. I don't personally know him. But I do know Scooby-Doo Mystery Mansion. You see, the thing with these Scooby-Doo voices is that they're either bad equally or good equally. You know what I mean? There's not that much of a middle ground for Scooby-Doo voices. You either have it or you don't. And Mike Silk, okay, I'll give it to you, Mike Silk. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Scooby-Doo live action movies notably have Matthew Lillard, one of the bad guys from Scream. Spoilers. One of the bad guys from Scream playing Shaggy. He's not the quintessential Shaggy. Who isn't the quintessential Scooby? Neil Fanning. But he did a good job. There's 2 live action movies. He's only in the second one. But did anyone notice a change in the second one? No, they didn't. They were just happy to see it again. And he did a good job being Scooby-Doo in it, which is why he has the honor of being the 3rd best Scooby-Doo actor, Scooby-Doo voice actor. Why isn't he number 2? Because he was copying the first guy. He was just trying to emulate it. You know what I mean? It's not his fault, but that's just how life be sometimes. Ooh, number 2. Who's it gonna be? You have 5 seconds to guess. Wrong. It was Frank Valli. He was in the live action Scooby-Doo movie, the first one. Also known for having Matthew Lillard in it. He was in Scoob. I don't like the movie Scoob. You know why? Doesn't have Matthew Lillard in it. Has a terrible Shaggy voice. But it has a pretty good Scooby voice. So, that's why. Frank Welker. Did I say that? Frank Welker's number 2. He does a good job. He knows what he's doing. He's a voice actor. All of these people are voice actors. Have you not realized that yet? Number 1, drum roll. Number 1 Scooby-Doo actor is Scott Enos. Oh! I don't know how to do sound effects or editing, so I'm doing them myself. Why? Why does Scott get to be number 1? Well, he's the quintessential Scooby-Doo voice actor. He's in so many of the movies, majority of the movies. He's the one who, when kids think of Scooby-Doo, I've already said this in the beginning of the video, they think Scott Enos. He's not too high-pitched, perfect balance of Scooby and Doo. You can understand him, but he's still a goofy little dog boy, you know what I mean? He does his little silly laugh. He says things with an R sound instead of a normal person sound. So he's number 1. And I love him. Speaking of Scooby-Doo, I have a proposal. I think for the next Scooby-Doo property that actually has Scooby-Doo in it, they should mix it up a little bit. I think they should just have him talk normally. I think, yes, Scooby-Doo doesn't have a unique voice at all in the newest one. He just sounds like a guy. He just sounds like a man. What makes him... No, 100% Scooby, 0% Doo for the newest voice. And it might not work, but that's what life is about, taking risks. In conclusion, Scooby-Doo is a fickle beast. You must do him right, or else it's a complete fail. It ruins the movie, or the commercial, or the show, or whatever you're acting in. So if you really want to go for safe bet for voicing Scooby-Doo, either have Scott Enos do it, or have a completely new person do it that doesn't try to do a Scooby-Doo impression. And then he's the new Scooby-Doo voice. To close us out, in the wise words of Scooby-Doo, ooh-hee-hee-hee-hee.